Are you happy? What is happiness? As we begin another conversation in happiness, remember that happiness is found inside you. It's found not by the things outside, it's found by the way you understand and interpret and apply what you see outside in your life. What you see in your life, the way you use it within yourself. Today I'd like to touch on another conversation we had, happiness, and that's relationships. I'd like to challenge you to think about your relationships with your coworkers, with your spouse, with your friends, and think about where those relationships began, how they developed, and what about those relationships made you happy? What opportunities were there to get better? What did you bring to that relationship that made you, allowed you to contribute? And when you find those things, identify if those relationships are in any way unhealthy, and use those fundamental things that you've built to strengthen them. Strengthen those relationships with the people you care about. Bring yourself, bring happy you, positive you back to that relationship. Today I'd like to talk about loneliness. And right along with loneliness, I think the conversation will also touch on faith. So when we're lonely, it makes us feel empty and sad. Sometimes you're lonely when you're with people. Sometimes you've been with people for years and you still feel lonely. So what do we do when we're lonely? Do we fill our time with social media, TV, phones? When we're lonely, what's the opportunity to be happy? The opportunity is to embrace the loneliness and to realize that it's a time you can analyze, you get to see yourself when you're lonely. You learn who you are. And for many of us, when we're alone and we don't have those distractions, that's when we're touched by our Creator, the Creator of this life. That's when we're touched by God. Whoever you think He is, the only time you can hear Him or understand Him is when you're not distracted by the things in the world that fill your time and maybe even make you lonely. So as you go through and apply this in your life today, remember that it's only when you are alone long enough, when you're alone enough to understand who you are and to love you for who you are, it's only then that you can go out and meet the people in your life and bring you to them. And you're not picking them because you're lonely. You're picking them because you appreciate them.